Well, it's a great honor to have you here talking to us at Kyiv Post, here in a typical Ukrainian setting, an air raid shelter in Kyiv. Well, my first question is, you've come specifically for an important international film festival dealing with documentaries and the war. Your general impressions as the head of the jury?
My general impression is that it is a honor for me to preside this jury. It's a great festival. There are great films, and you have in Ukraine an incredible school of documentary makers, really great quality. And I know a little about documentaries. And what I discovered watching all these 12, 13, 14, I don't remember, movies, documentary movies, is that I knew already you had the best army in Europe. You have maybe among the best documentary makers in Europe too. And it's a great idea of President Zelensky and of Andrei Yermak to have wanted, to have desired this festival. It's a brilliant idea. I'm very honored and very happy to be part of it.
Okay, I was at the opening and you made a very powerful statement, and then we saw a very powerful documentary film with you in the trenches in all the hotspots. But tell me, we are going to show this interview after the winners are announced, but your personal favorites, are there one or two films that you would highlight and say must see?
I will not tell you, because the president of a jury has a power of conviction, hopefully, but he is one among others. So I don't want to give my personal advice.
It's an honest decision.
Yeah,
at the last minute,
you will know the collective decision of the jury, which will be taken collectively by everybody. I don't want to give my personal choice.
Okay. Let's change the subject a little bit. What keeps you coming back to Ukraine? Why are you so committed to supporting Ukraine?
First of all, I will give you a very simple and maybe naive answer. I like this country. I like Ukraine, really. When I stay few months without coming in Ukraine, I miss Ukraine, really. And when I say Ukraine, I don't mean, of course, I mean Kyiv, Odessa, but even the ground, and the ground in these very dark times.
Look, I was so impressed by your own documentary film that you, such a famous personality, such a classy figure, were there in the trenches filming explosions all around you in different parts of the country, in all the hotspots. Now, what made you do that? You were risking your life.
And I continue. I am now back from Donbas, from the Pokrovsk area, just a few minutes ago. And what drives me is the incredible drive of the Ukrainian fighters, their incredible bravery, the fact that they defend themselves and they defend me. They defend my kids. They defend my family. Really, when I am in Donbas, as I was yesterday, I have this physical feeling that these gentlemen, these so respectable gentlemen, they fight for values, and these values are the values in which I believe and in which my country sometimes no longer believe. So my duty is to be at their side. This is my place.
I wanted to ask you, as a Frenchman, is Ukraine of interest to the average Frenchman still, or is there Ukraine fatigue?
You have both. For example, after this terrible press conference, it was not even a press conference, it was an obscene acting out of Trump and Vance. there was a huge movement of solidarity in France and in Europe. An incredible wave of love and friendship to President Zelensky and to the Ukrainian people. So you have that. At the same time, you have, of course, some extreme right, extreme left, left wing, right wing parties in my country, which are manipulated by the Russian propaganda or by Russia itself, and those don't expect them to have any sympathy for Ukraine. They think, like Trump and like Vance, that it is a lost cause, that we lose our money, that I don't even want to articulate because I'm really disgusted by all of that.
But
And
tell me, if I may interrupt you, why has your own president, Macron, become one of the staunchest defenders of Ukraine on the international scene?
because he believes in Europe, and because he understood that what is happening here, and he admires sincerely the courage and the knack and the spirit of the Ukrainian people. He has a sincere admiration. You know, statesmen are not always cold monsters, as Nietzsche would have said.
Right.
Statesmen have also an heart and have
Human
also a
being.
soul.
Human
They're
being.
human beings. And I'm sure, I know a little President Macron. I know that as a human being, he, with his heart, he admires President Zelensky, he respects President Zelensky, and he knows what President Zelensky embodies, which is the best of Europe.
And he showed this in his meeting with Trump a few days ago.
In this meeting with Trump, you know, I saw the meeting. I was with Ukrainian resistance when the meeting happened with Ukrainian fighters, average, and it was so striking to see how disgusted they were by Trump and how they were how proud they were of their president. And I was moved to tears to see the sorrow of my Ukrainians brothers and their pride in front of the president, at the image of their president holding so firm, having such an allure, such a greatness.
Right.
There was a dwarf
Yeah.
who was Trump, and there was
a giant and a dwarf.
A giant who was President Zelensky, no doubt about that.
David and Goliath in reverse, an intellectual, charismatic leader with...
Charismatic, wise, brave, with a real wax, you know.
But he's come a long way too. Remember when he was accused of a certain naivety, calling Vova quite often 3 years ago. Maybe, is there hope that Trump may also get through this naivety that he's showing? Or is it already prefixed, do you think?
We'll see. We'll see. You know, when you have, as Zelensky has, truth in your heart, when you stand with your values and your words, your strength and strength of conviction is without limits. Zelensky convinced so many people since 3 years. As you know, he's an eternal pilgrim of his cause. He went to so many audiences who were suspicious sometimes at the beginning, and they went out of the meeting enthusiastic. And so who knows what can happen? We can see maybe a U-turn. I'm not very optimistic about Trump, to be honest, but everything is possible.
Let's start concluding. I know you're very tired. You've just come back from another visit to the east, to the front lines. Look, do you think that Europe can get its act together with Macron, with the new German leader, with the British Prime Minister, that this and with the Poles as well, and provide the leadership and drive that Europe needs?
and the Baltic countries,
And the Baltic, I'm
and the
sorry.
Nordic country, Finland,
Et voilà.
Sweden. I don't know if we can, but we must. If we don't, we die. And President Zelensky is 100% right about that. If we don't do it, we will die. Unite or die. This is the challenge which Zelensky and the Ukrainian people address to us.
So you're saying, sinon, après nous, le déluge. If we don't do it, there will be disaster.
If we don't help you to... Today, the border of Europe is in Pokrovsk, the border of Europe. The defense of France, the national security of France is playing in Donbas, is at stake in Donbas. If we lose the Battle of Donbas, we collectively, not only Ukrainians, French, Europeans, then we are lost.
Finally, okay, a message to the broader world, the 3, 4, 5 million people that watch us every month, mainly North America and in Europe. What would you say to them? I mean, again, you're here, you're a witness to what's going on. What is your key message that you would like to share?
That Ukrainian fighters are not losers, are not tired. They are winners, and though sometimes very sad, sometimes close to despair, sometimes having suffered so many losses and so on, they are still firm, still tough, and still sure of themselves and of their values. A strange thing is that I met so many more true European hearts and souls in the most remote villages on Donbas than in Paris, Barcelona, or London. The real European believers, they are today in Donbas and what remains of Chasiv Yar and of Pokrovsk.
Well, thank you very much for your very generous appraisal and words.
It's not generous. I mean every word which I just told you.
But you also said you are an example to all of us. Your determination to help Ukraine at this difficult moment, your energy, your drive. We don't see this compassion fatigue in you. We thank you on behalf of all the readers of Kyiv Post, all Ukrainians, and we are very, very lucky to have you on board. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you.